Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. This is Anabrese, and today's topic for this video is going to be how to free yourself from anxiety. So first of all, I just want to start off by saying that, anxiety is so much more common than you think, and that if you're experiencing this right now, please know that you're not alone. There's like millions of people that experience anxiety, and at some points in your life, it's going to be more of a thing than other times in your life. So I just want to get straight into it. I'm speaking really from personal experience as well, and what helped me through different times in my life where I experienced a lot of anxiety in the past. So first of all, there's different types of anxiety, so it's good to know, which one you are, or if it could just be general anxiety. So we've got general anxiety here, which is just the feeling of general state of anxiety, which comes and goes, and there's no real cause for it. You can't quite put your finger on it. You might just wake up one morning and you just feel all this anxiety for no reason at all that you can think of. So that's one type of anxiety. Another one is just the fear of the unexpected happening. So this is more of like a projective type of anxiety where the mind or the ego mind projects onto the future. What if this happens? I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow around a certain situation. So this can be around uncertainty. And I wanted to mention this one because this is a lot of people could be experiencing this one right now, because this is filmed in April 2020 when we're all in quarantine. And when this first came into our experience, there was the sense of uncertainty, not knowing what the future holds. And really, we're still in that place. We don't know what's going to happen. And for a lot of people, that can cause a lot of anxiety and fear, because we're used to kind of being in relative control in our lives, or what we think is control, but it's not really. You've never been in control of your life. You never can be in control of your life or the outcomes. So you can't control outcomes. So no matter what level of anxiety you're experiencing, you can't control outcomes. You're not in charge of how to control outcomes. You can't control circumstances in life. And then we've got worry. So it's like the what ifs, what if this happens? Waking up at night worrying about, your children, your loved ones. It's completely pointless. Does worry ever solve anything? Does it ever solve anything? And I think we can wholeheartedly say no on that one. So what is the point of worrying? There's just no point to it. It's just a waste of energy. And then the other type of anxiety is kind of action-based. So it could be performance-related, could be before doing something, before speaking to someone, before going on stage, before, performance-related anxiety, which is just like a kind of nervousness. Again, it's because of the uncertainty of the outcome. Am I going to be able to do this? Am I going to be able to, complete this task, or whatever it is? Again, we can see that anxiety is unfounded in any sense of reality, because there is no knowing what any outcome is to any situation. We can certainly be optimistic and positive about outcomes, and we do have a certain influence. Our state of being has a certain influence on the outcome through our positive expectation. But ultimately, we can't control what's going to happen. So is there any point to being anxious about it? So yeah, it's this feeling of being out of control, and this is based on the personality ego self that likes to be in control, that wants to, that is fixated on, I want it my way. It's got to be my way. I want it this way. And again, when life takes a turn, or suddenly you can't go to work, suddenly you can't go to, you can't create that business that you wanted to create, you have to accept, it's not really defeat, but it's accepting, you know, what is. It's accepting what the current situation is. So in that sense, there's a sort of surrender of the ego personality of trying to control everything. So when we surrender to life itself, because there is an infinite intelligence that created all of this, that created you, created me. So can we, you know, hand it over in some sense to the infinity, the infinite intelligence that knows what it's doing. So if we can somehow get out of the way of like wanting things to be a particular way and allowing life to show us the way instead, that's another way of kind of relaxing, giving yourself some relief from the anxiety of control. It's like when you can just relax and say, okay, I'm just going to go with the flow here and see what life wants to show me, okay? And you're always already free. You're always already free. Anxiety is a sensation. It's a state of being. It's something that comes and goes in waves. It's not who you are. So never say, I'm an anxious and worried person, because you're not. You're experiencing the state of anxiety. It's a state that passes through the body. And what helped me back in the days was really, one day I just became aware of the fact that it was like a phenomenon, a sensation. I really looked at this anxiety and I was like, well, what is this really, you know? And I could feel it in the body, and I just thought, well, I can feel it. It's just a state, it's an energy, you know? So I started seeing it as just a phenomenon, you know, something that would rise up and then dissipate. And it wasn't there 100% of the time. So it wasn't real in that sense, because anything that can come and go isn't real. There is only the one true reality, and that is that you're always already free from any state or condition that you're going to experience in life. You know, you are already apart from what you experience, because you're awareness itself. You are a conscious being. You're, you know, infinity expressing itself through form. So anything that you experience is transient. It's just coming and going out of your experience. So you're always safe. You're always safe. It's good to know that you're always safe, no matter what. So, you know, because anything that you can be aware of doesn't touch the source of who you truly are. You're just aware of it. It's arising in your conscious experience. It's not the source of who you are. So it's an experience. So anxiety is an experiential state of being. It's appearing to your consciousness or in your consciousness. It isn't your awareness or the source of who you are in reality. It's appearing. So anything that appears and comes and goes isn't really true. It doesn't have a solid foundation. It doesn't have a solid foundation. It comes and goes. So this is the kind of mindset that helped me at the time. So I'm just sharing with you what really helped me get through it. So this idea of knowing it as a sensation, you know, anxiety or fear or depression, you know, all these kind of things are experiences, appearances on the landscape of your consciousness, on the landscape of the pure awareness that's always already free as you, the absolute. So being aware of it and not letting it dictate to you. Don't let the fear or anxiety dictate to you. Don't let it start controlling what you do and what you don't do in your life, because then it's got you, you know. So you're much higher, you're much more evolved. You're beyond anxiety. You're beyond all these appearances. But what is in your control? What is in your control is your state of being. Your state of being, your focus, your attention. What are you going to give your attention to? Are you going to allow this anxiety to control you? Because you can shift. You can shift your focus. If you're giving all your attention to this anxiety, but what if you were to just suddenly say, okay, I'm gonna give my attention to the joy that I can experience today. I'm gonna look for things that I can appreciate. I'm gonna go for a walk and listen to the bird song. I'm gonna give my attention to that instead of the anxiety. And even if you can still sense it in the background, it's okay. Just let it be. Just let it be there. And that's another thing, because how we respond to these unwanted experiences is how we give our control to them as well. So if we can respond in a loving way, almost like an unconditionally loving parent, it's like, how would you respond if your child was telling you that they were scared? How would you respond to your child? So coming from a place of unconditionally loving acceptance as well is part of the healing process. Not judging these appearances, these sensations which come and go. So shifting your focus onto creating your best life, basically. Be unconditionally loving, and shifting your focus onto what you love to do every day. Focus on your expansion, not your contraction, because often when we experience these anxiety states, there's a sense of I can't do this, I can't go out, I can't, and there's a sense of contracting. But if we start to shift our attention, and this is what worked for me years ago, was just, okay, what can I do? What's the first step? What can I do? And start expanding. See what ways you can start expanding yourself and your experience, your day-to-day experience, instead of contracting and shutting down, because quite often people that are in these states of anxiety or depression tend to shut down. But start to look for ways that you can open up, even if it's talking to somebody, talking to a friend, telling them what you're feeling, because quite often we don't want to tell people how we're feeling, but by sharing it with another kind of consciously aware friend, it helps, because you're starting to look at it and expose it to the light. We're exposing these aspects of ourselves to the light so that they can come up to be seen and released. Also, forgiveness for the root cause. This was another thing of just like, we can't really know for sure what the cause of the anxiety is. It could be all sorts of things. It could even be diet related, but it could be something that's coming up from your childhood. And instead of trying to do years and years of psychology and trying to work out what it is, why not just say, okay, dear divinity, dear creator, dear infinite one that I am part of, that I am, the all infinite intelligence one, can you, intelligent one, please forgive the root cause of what's causing this anxiety. This is slightly to do with Ho'oponopono, if you've heard of that. And that was another tool that helped me as well. So there are a lot of kind of ways to deal with this, but I'm kind of covering more the psychological aspects today, and the sort of mind shifts and the way that we can look at it that helps to shift us out of the vibration of anxiety, because it is a vibrational state. So by shifting our vibration, by not giving it too much attention, it's like a crying baby. Actually that's not a good example, because you want to give a crying baby your attention, but it's like a spoiled child. It's like if you keep giving the behavior all this attention, the unwanted behavior, then it grows. And another thing that really helped me back in the day was when I was kind of getting into a lot of the law of attraction stuff, which was a phase, of learning that I went through, was just, I remember seeing this statement that said, what you focus on expands. So what you give your attention to increases, basically. So, you know, the more you love, the more your experience is love. And the more you focus on the anxiety, it's like self-perpetuating. So kind of what we give our attention to is very, very important and very, very crucial part of the healing process. So that's what I mean by, in some ways, ignoring it in some sense, and like shifting your attention onto what you can create. You know, what are the positive states of being that you do want to experience. So I talk a lot about this in my book, Tune into Bliss, because I recognize that, you know, the joy frequency, the joy experience, the sensation, or the, not the sensation, but the, to experience more joy, to experience more peace, those are the things that we need to give our attention to, you know, rather than on the things that we don't want. So start giving your attention to the things you do want to create. And as I say, just take that first little step today. If it's just one little step that gets you out of that comfort zone, so that the anxiety is not controlling you. It's like you're aware of it, so you're not the anxiety itself. Because you're aware of it, it can come and go. It's not going to control you. Don't let it control you. It's just a state, you know. So I hope that's been of help to some of you. And if you have any questions or want me to go into detail about any aspect of what we've talked about today, please comment. And I'm sending you so much love, and thank you for watching this video. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. I'll be doing a lot more in the future. So thank you, and love and light to you. Bye.